Hey there, it's Key Lime. So, I just want to do a really quick, really informal, and I'm really sorry about video quality and all that. And I live right next to a busy street, and there's probably going to be noisy cars going by all the time. But I have things I want to say, and I'm not going to be a perfectionist about how I say them. I'm just going to get it out there. Because I want to do a response video to my wonderful friend, Eliza Sully. I'll put a little link in the description of her original video, and her video about loving your body and loving yourself. And she has some really wonderful points, and I just wanted to put in my 2 cents with it. First of all, I just want to say, a lot of people, when I bring up body image, kind of go into oh, well, that's easy for you to say because you're skinny and you're white and you have wonderful hair, or, whatever. I think I have wonderful hair. But, I just want to say, I feel like it's more of an endemic issue than that, and I feel like every woman, no matter what she looks like, I feel like we're kind of taught to be insecure, and I feel like no matter what you look like, at some point in your life you probably felt ugly. And heck, a lot of men too. I'm going to be focusing more on women in this video, but men being insecure is still a serious issue, and I want to address that at a different time. But I think especially women, we're kind of taught that we shouldn't be proud of how we look, because that's seen as a fault. And that's kind of messed up, because you should love the body that you have, even if it's not healthy or perfect. I mean, if you were in a wheelchair, would you hate your body? I mean, you should love this vessel that your soul is in. It's a wonderful bag of flesh. It's wonderful. And I'm getting really hippy dippy and kind of obvious stuff, but I mean, a lot of people don't understand that the reason we, as women mainly, don't really enjoy our bodies is because we're taught not to. We're taught that we should be humble, which is good to a point. A lot of us are taught, though, to be insecure, and we're constantly fed things by the media that are, oh, your hips are too big, your hips aren't big enough, you need longer eyelashes and not as thick eyebrows, and all of this stuff that I could rattle on forever, that we're constantly told about. And there doesn't ever even seem to be a healthy medium that you can reach with all of those. But I want you to know that your feelings are valid, and that a lot of times they're created by the media. And I also want to tell you that your feelings are valid, and you don't have to let the media control you. It's not as easy as just, oh, don't be bothered by it, or oh, just turn off the TV. Because it's in our culture too. Maybe you don't watch TV, I don't have cable, but all my friends do, and they're still shaped by that. And our culture is still shaped by that. And if you say that media doesn't affect you at all, I feel like you're not really aware of what media is. Because it affects our culture, and our culture is a lot of where women's insecurities stem from. So I want you to know that you have agency, and you can totally tune out all that stuff, but also it's not entirely up to you, and it's not your fault that you're insecure. I just feel like a lot of people think it's way easier to get over this than it is. Okay, I'm kind of getting off track here. I also want to say that Tess mentioned in her video, which is wonderful, there's way more to life than beauty. And there's way more to life than being beautiful. And I've thought about this a lot of kind of the traditional when people are attractive, when they're young and attractive, that's a very tiny portion of our life. And like, think about it. What do you think we do with the rest of it? We become funny, we become intelligent, we become creative, and we do all of this independent of whether or not we're beautiful or ugly, or whether we think we're beautiful or ugly. And there's so much more to who you are as a person than just what's on this outside out here. Like I said earlier, this is just like the bag of flesh that holds your soul, if you want to take that religiously or theologically or what. But what's really important is the soul that's inside. Like, I'm wearing black lipstick today. Also, I like folk music. Like, there's a lot more to me on the inside that maybe you wouldn't just see on my face or on my body. And also, it's completely okay to want to be pretty. It's completely okay to want to express yourself using your body. And you can totally do that with makeup, or body modifications, or painting your nails, or whatever wonderful thing you want to do to express yourself and express your aesthetic tastes. As long as you're doing it for you. Don't do what a magazine tells you will make you pretty or make you attractive. Because you don't exist to decorate somebody else's world. You're not here so that men or women or whoever will think that you're pretty. You're here to be you. And you're here to be funny and creative and intelligent and all those wonderful things. And maybe you can express that using your body. But you don't have to. Either way is valid. One last thing I want to say, well, two more things I want to say before I go. Female competition is shitty, and speaking of that whole culture of this is why we think like this, a lot of our culture feeds into this female competition where we gossip and we talk shit about sisters, and we shouldn't do that. And yet again, that's the media telling us to do that, and it's not just quite that easy. But we should take some of our own agency, and we should say, hey, actually, I don't think she's wearing too much lipstick. I think she's wearing a perfect amount of lipstick, and it looks hot. And even if I do think she's wearing too much lipstick, that doesn't really matter that much. I mean, even if you are sexually interested in a person, or like you're in a relationship with somebody, what your opinion of like how they present themselves or like how they dress isn't actually that important. Like, if you want to say something nice to someone and say, oh, I love how you did your eyeliner. I love that shirt. I love your tattoo. Like, that's a great thing, and that might help them validate something that they're insecure about. But if you have something negative to say, what's that really gonna add? It's really probably just gonna feed into an insecurity of theirs, and maybe you think that, it's coming from a nice place and that you want them to help, teach them to present themselves better. But that's your opinion of how they present themselves. And that doesn't really matter that much. And the one last thing I want to say, because this video is getting super long and I'm sorry about that. Even if you're not pretty, or even if you don't think you're pretty, somebody will fall in love with you. I know that sounds ridiculous, and sometimes love isn't really important. Romantic love isn't really important. But I promise, somebody's gonna fall in love with you. And somebody isn't gonna just think that you're a fetish, or think that, you'll have to settle for them. somebody is going to genuinely come along and love every single little thing about you, and it's going to be fantastic. And you don't need to compromise yourself for some hypothetical person or real person who doesn't appreciate you. So, and also, I just want to say, also, for aromantic, asexual, whatever people, or people who just aren't looking for romantic love right now, you don't have to compromise yourself for friends either, because their opinion doesn't really matter. It's all about you. And you are a total babe. I'll see you later. Bye!